all of life is meant to be like beautiful and rich, and there's a purpose for every season of your life. And so the idea of just waiting till this thing that you have no control over really happens to you.
Yep.
And then everything can like be great. That's just like, oh, it's just really sad.
Hello and welcome to the Christians Who Date podcast with
Lauren Bornique,
Kalli Christopherson,
and Andrea Alley. We are coming at you from all ends of the United States of America, except not really the east.
I was gonna say,
I was gonna say
the west.
more the west,
more the west / central part of the United States. But we love you if you're on the East Coast.
I always
East
feel like
Coasters.
I always feel like you're like a newscaster when you say this.
I do too.
Like,
I know. I try to get in my newscaster voice. Just kidding.
Andrea
Also,
could be.
Yeah. I was thinking about this as I saw my shirt. I realized I've worn this shirt like the past 3 days.
Really? Wait, not the past 3 podcasts, the past 3 days of your
3
life?
3 days of my life.
Oh my God.
I think I'm on day 3 of wearing this shirt.
Wow.
So I just was
It is
about that.
the Sandlot shirt.
I was going to say.
Iconic.
This
It's
is the
iconic.
time of year that Lauren starts dressing like the Sandlot, and we love it.
Yeah, it's like warm, and I was just like, oh yeah, I was like, do I smell okay? And I do. So
She looks like she just got off the baseball field. It's the best.
Always playing baseball.
Low key, I dressed like Sandlot today. I'm wearing like a white button-up jeans, and then I had my high top Converse.
Come on.
Oh, cute. Wait, what color?
White.
They're like white, but they're like the canvas. Because remember that time I was like, I'm gonna get them just like yours, Lauren, except not that color.
Thank you.
Do you remember that?
No, but I could believe it.
Sorry.
I could believe it from you that you would make fun of me. I'm okay with it.
I wanted the like vintage like canvas, like they're like this color. It's like off white. But
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just wear the white high tops. All white high tops.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always wear them.
As long as it's white or close to white shoes, that's where I'm at.
Kalli, do you wear high
true.
tops? I don't know if you do.
I used to wear like Vans.
Yeah.
Like all white Vans. But now I just
remember
do like
those.
Like Air Nikes, white.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
committed to those.
Pretty committed. Yeah.
Like super cool.
Yeah, the coolest.
Yeah.
The coolest.
We were talking earlier. Andrea did something terrifying in our group chat yesterday, and I'm still reeling about it. Andrea, feel free to share.
Was that just yesterday? Wait, no, I think it was 2 days ago.
No, it was a few days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Lauren,
I'm in a time
It was just
warp.
yesterday.
I'm literally in a time warp. It was yesterday.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday.
Oh my gosh. Okay, continue.
Yeah. So I found this ChatGPT prompt through this social media girl that I follow. And I actually didn't know it at the time, but this is like a trend. Like this is a TikTok trend that everybody's doing.
Totally.
I had no idea. But it's like you upload a picture to ChatGPT and you tell it to make an action figure out of this picture. And so I now have action figure versions. Like I see this, well, first of all, I see this prompt and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm immediately taking like an hour off work to make this of Lauren and Kalli. And then I did have to like stop myself, but because it's so addicting. But anyway, so I immediately am like, I'm going to make an action figure of Lauren. And
I get this, not knowing. And I was just like, I'm creeped out. I hate AI.
But it's also like, it was
accurate.
I told it, but it's because I told it everything. It's not like it knows that. Like I told it.
I know.
Still doesn't like
You were like, AI knows me so well. And I'm like, no, Lauren, I know you so well.
Except you spelled dried mango, dried mago, I think, or something.
Dread Margot. But that was actually ChatGPT. You have to like be really specific about spelling or it just, anyway, stuff gets messed up. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. So there you go.
It was impressive. And she did one of herself too. It was great.
Yeah. I did 2 different versions of myself because I needed like the Panda Puffs chill one that Lauren said. And then I needed like the professional one. So
Yeah.
Oh.
Andrea was
Yeah.
like, please describe in a couple words. And I was like, glasses, cat, journal, and cereal or ice cream. Because that's how I would describe Andrea.
The other, and it's pretty accurate, actually.
Yes.
I'm glad the Panda Puffs that I get sent to you guys, like that one was pretty good. The other ones were like struggling a little bit. So I'm glad they finally figured it out. But for Kalli's, it was so funny because I was trying to get it to do, because you've been wearing that like little leather crossbody bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to get it to have that, but instead it kept giving you 2 Bibles. Which
actually makes a lot of sense.
Which I thought was so funny because we've been talking about like how Kalli's so controversial.
Kalli's
like
very spiritual.
how much she loves the Bible.
How much I read the Bible.
She loves all the versions. No, I'm joking. Only NIV and ESV.
So I keep correcting it. I'm like, only one Bible. And then it's
like,
just
nope.
Like,
2 Bibles.
Creating multiple Bibles. And I'm like, all right, well.
We sense
like
this
it.
girl is very spiritual, so she needs 2 Bibles at least. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then ice cream it had Dairy Queen, which is accurate. This girl loves ice cream.
I do. I love
that
it.
DQ Blizzard.
Just hits, it hits a spot deep in my soul.
I literally might get one tonight. I'm so into ice cream right now in this moment.
Wait, Andrea, really quick, you should tell that story of when I had my wisdom teeth out and we went to go get ice cream through the drive-thru. Do you remember?
All I remember was you weren't as funny and loopy as I wanted you to be.
Fine, I'll share it.
I'll
share the story, Cal.
So I had just gotten my wisdom teeth out like a couple hours before or something. And I was just like, I just really want ice cream, but I want like a Blizzard.
Driving this girl around, of course.
Naturally.
Aww,
and I was like, I had like a bag of frozen blueberries on my face while we were driving. And we go through
specific.
We go through the drive-thru and I just tell Andrea, I'm like, I just want like the texture of like a Blizzard, but like nothing in it because I can't. I just got my wisdom teeth out. And
rando.
So Andrea's trying to order for me and she's like, can I get a Blizzard like but with nothing in it? And this person is like, what? And she just kept trying to explain it. And they're like, no, we literally can't do that. And Andrea got so mad.
So I'm like, this should be easier than a normal Blizzard.
Is it just
I'm
ice
making
cream?
Your job easier.
Is it just ice cream in a cup, you'd say?
It's like, I don't know.
Basically. But it's like soft serve.
Yeah.
It's like soft serve.
So anyways, but we like kind of like we get up to the window, but the lady was like salty when we like were trying to order. She was just like not having it.
Pay extra.
Oh yeah, I think that was it too.
She was gonna make us pay extra.
And so we get to the window and Andrea's like, my friend just got her wisdom teeth out. And I'm like over there with the blueberries. And she's like, we just want like basically soft serve, but like something like that. And they were like, oh, we're so sorry, of course. And they like gave it to me and they didn't charge us, but it was so funny. Andrea's like, that is not happening. So
that's what would happen is because I was teaching. So all day long I'd have these 5th graders trying to cross lines and I would reach the end of the day and be like, you will give me what I want.
I've been taken advantage of all day.
all the like chill, like soft parts of me were just like, this is over. Like, you will not mess with me.
I'm so glad those days are done. She would be like gone for 2 hours after work because she needed to rest.
Yeah.
She was tired.
Had to hibernate. Yeah.
Whew.
The days.
Man.
And then, Dre, you are also going to share with us a story. You have a new Hinge story.
Man.
Yes.
And of course, I always like to hear these
funny.
Multiple times. All
so
the time.
Good.
Man, yeah. Where do I even what to even cover? What to even, where to even begin with this story? I matched with a guy and basically he was like real texty up front, which
texty.
Lauren was giving me good perspective because she's like, listen, we're not all you, Andrea. Like,
he was doing
some
things
of us,
that I would do, and
yeah.
I'm kind of embarrassed to admit it.
Some of us like to be real texty right off the bat. And I was like, okay, so I'm trying to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. But because we were texting so much, it just kind of like became clear to me that values wise, we weren't on the same page. And so I was like, okay, like I'm getting a little bit of different, I'm sensing that we're on different pages here with this, which is like kind of an awkward place to be because it's like they don't know that, but you have figured it out. So then you're like, what? Like, I want to communicate. I don't want to just like dip out.
How do we land this thing?
Right, exactly. But like a lot of people just dip out at that point. But I don't know. I'm trying to be better. So
good job.
Yeah.
So anyway, it just comes down to like I'm at this worship night and we're hanging out after. I'm hanging out with my friends and they're kind of just I'm like giving them some examples of why I think we're on those different pages with values and they're just like affirming like Andrea, yes, like this is not going to work out with this guy. And so I had already planned to have like a call with him and so I was gonna like I was like, okay, well, it'll be after the worship night's over, so it'll be fine. But then my friends wanted to hang out. And so I was like, oh shoot, how am I gonna do this? And so basically we like concoct this whole plan where they're like, you just like have this phone call in the car and then come hang out with us afterwards. We went to Cidercade for all my Austin locals out there. And so it's so funny because I literally drive my roommate and like land in the parking lot of Cidercade right when I'm about to have this call. She's like, okay, I'll see you in a few. And then I'm on the phone with this guy and I'm just like trying to gently land this plane. But it's tough because if it's a values conversation, like it's hard to not sound judgy, because you're just like, I don't know. You're like, listen, this is a big deal in my life, like church and all that stuff. And anyway, so
but didn't you first start talking about like Italian food for a long time? Like you had like kind of a soft
we had like
intro.
a whole tangent. Yeah, cuz so we just like start talking in the beginning and then it's funny like how quickly Italians, I don't know if we're all like this, but I feel like a lot of us can like take this whole side tangent when we find out someone else is Italian. So that's like exactly what happened. I'm like, you're Italian. How Italian are you? Like, I'm a quarter. He was like half or something. And so then we start talking about it. And then like before I know it, even though I know this isn't going to work out, I'm like deep in this conversation about like how this place in Austin used to have this really good cannelloni. And I'm like describing the dish to him. I'm like, it's basically an Italian enchilada and they like wrap up this ricotta cheese in a lasagna noodle and they put like red sauce all over it. And I feel like I'm like getting really like New England, like Italian with my accent. And
amazing.
And I'm just like, I'm deep in this conversation about Italian food. And I'm like, wow, how did we get here? Like, I need to like get back on track. So anyway, yeah, whole tangent about, and then I talked about Goodfellas, all the stuff that you bring up, like how many relatives do you have in the mob or that you think were in the mob, like
amazing.
nobody that I know of. So it's just like, yeah, it's so funny. So, yeah, wish him all the best,
And that's it.
Once you ended it, did you go hang out with your friends?
Once I ended it, I went in to hang out with my friends and it was great. We had a little chat just about, the dating world in general. And it felt good to have a support system, like, yeah, you did it. You had that conversation. Good job.
Wait, how did this guy respond? Was he just like, okay, bye?
He was a little salty.
Okay.
And I was like, that's okay. You can be salty if you want, like
we're still not going to date.
Yeah, I'm like, we're not gonna date, but I thought you might be salty, so it's okay.
But honestly, literally, like, kudos to you, Dre, for like, first of all, you have like a real human conversation and you don't just cut to the chase. And then
Yeah.
you like already knew you needed to like just have your like talk with him, and you actually had a phone call, which most people would literally just delete them on
It's
him
true.
or just send him
Yeah.
like a quick text of like,
Yeah.
this won't work. And like, you had a real conversation with him, which I think we've all grown in, like, okay, we're gonna have adult conversations with these people because they're
Yeah.
actually humans, they have a heart, they're trying hard, we're trying hard out there. So I think there's something like, I just think that's really honorable of you, of like the way you went about it, even if you already knew like, okay, I already have enough data that we're not gonna go on a date.
Yeah. Well, and to be honest, I feel like the phone call did make it like clear. Like it was like, yeah, it's hard because you do try to give people the benefit of the doubt, you know? And then the phone call was when he like really said something that I was like, oh, this is like, yeah, like I was like, this is what I thought was going on. But then I was able to actually ask him and it was like, oh, yeah, okay, I was right. You know, like, because sometimes you're not right. You make assumptions and they don't turn out to be true. So anyway, one of my friends, though, who will remain nameless, was when we were like hanging out, he was saying that he used to break up with people on speakerphone with his brothers.
Oh my gosh.
In high school. This was in high school.
Oh, okay.
But,
I was like, what?
Like he'd break up on the phone and have it on speaker.
His brothers could hear?
Yeah, so it was like a group.
Like for entertainment
break.
reasons?
I think so. I think for entertainment.
Oh my
Savage.
gosh. So horrible.
Terrible. Yeah.
Oh, people are cray cray.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you're in high school. I mean, I'm like, I did some savage things in high school. And I was
so
like,
immature. I was just sharing.
oh, I was so immature.
Sharing of a savage thing I did to
Yeah.
someone I'll remain nameless, you know. But so I get it.
Lord.
So
good stuff. Good stuff. Well,
should we get into it?
Let's get into it. Wow, that was 17 minutes. How did that fly? I'm like, how did we get there? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That is wild.
It was like in a time vortex.
Today I'm excited because this is something I feel like we've touched on, but we haven't like fully dove into it. But it is something that I feel like if you don't really get a grip on this or get like an understanding around it, then you might miss out on some really great people because you are kind of having like a perfect standard in your head that no human being walking around on earth currently is able to reach. Yeah. Or you might be with someone right now who's really great, but there's kind of maybe some like subconscious beliefs going on that would sabotage your current relationship because you don't fully realize like that this is going on. So we wanted to just dive into it a little bit because this has been a huge thing. I think anyone who's single past 30 has really had to like come to grips with this. So, and maybe like if you're married, you know, earlier, you have to come to grips with it in your own way. But I think definitely like it's just the idea of like not waiting for a man or a spouse or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whoever like to come in and rescue you, because you're actually responsible for your life. Like you're responsible for your emotions, like the life that you create, and even it's like your finances. I mean, it's like every area of your life. And I think what happens is we kind of get this idea that somebody else is going to come in and figure all of that out for us or fix all of that for us or be strong in the areas that we're weak. And so we end up looking for this like superhero person to come save us, and that doesn't happen. And I think it comes a little bit from like, you know, we grew up watching like the Disney movies or the rom-coms where it's like the girl at the beginning is like a complete mess, and then she meets the guy, and then he like helps her figure out her life. And so I definitely grew up kind of thinking like, man, I'm so excited for the day that I meet a man that's gonna like figure everything out for me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's really good. Yeah. I mean, I was just kind of giggling, but Kalli sent us this really cute video of her niece. I think, how old's Flory?
She's 2.
She's 2. She's
Cute.
wearing a wedding dress, and it is the cutest thing ever.
She's rocking it.
around, wearing her little wedding dress,
Owning
like,
it.
Yeah.
about to trip over it. And I was like, I remember as a little girl around that age wearing a wedding dress,
Yeah.
having my little baby dolls, could not
Yep.
wait to get married and be a mom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that God put that in this, like in a lot of ways, like that nurturing heart and that desire for love and intimacy. And so that's like a deep thing that I would say is like deep within women. Like Flory probably has no idea, but like I'm like, but she's just like, oh, I'm pretty, and but it's like this deep thing within women. And so you kind of have these expectations of like, especially it is prized in Christian culture to be married and to have a family, and that is like a big deal. And it's honestly, I think from every parent and husband and wife I've talked to, they're like, this is one of the greatest things I would never trade, especially if you're in a really healthy marriage or like a healthy family dynamic. Like they're like, this is the best thing, especially parents. I feel like I've never heard every parent's like, this is the best job ever, is to be a parent over like any of their other jobs. And so I think there's something in us that wants that. And then so you have these dreams, you have these expectations. And then I know as like women, you start to, for me at least, like in my 20s, the years go by where I'm like, oh, another year where I don't have my husband that's going to like be my best friend. And he's I'm going to be way happier. I'm going to be way more secure. Together, we're going to have a double income. And then he can help like fix all my things that I can't do. He can help all the things I want to, like, I'm not good at. He'll be my leader. He'll be stronger than me. And so I have these fantasy expectations. And then when the years come by and those things aren't happening, then I'm like, I was like waiting for a long time. I kept waiting and then I was getting mad at God. And then I think there was something, and we'll get more into this, but I realized like, oh, I like have to keep moving. I can't just like sit here and wait. I have to actually keep moving, and I have to keep facing my crap that I was putting on this fantasy human to fix. And so, that's something that was like a harsh reality I had to figure out. I would say in my late 20s and early 30s of like, and it's not even, I don't want us to, for those listening, it's not about like feminism. Like, I don't need a man. It's more just like realizing like, oh, I don't need a man to save me. Like, that's a little different, right? Like, we actually do need men in our life, like no matter what, like brothers, guy friends, and then hopefully a boyfriend, husband. But they're not meant to save us. And I think that's the mindset I had to shift.
Totally.
So, I don't know about you, Cal.
Definitely. I was the phrase that kind of came to my mind when you were sharing was like, a lot of people can, when you're not dating someone and you're imagining like the guy coming in and everything, it's like, oh, then my life will start. Like you're waiting for your life to start. And people even say that like when they get married, and it's just like, well, have you not been living for the last 20 plus 30 plus years? And it's just, it feels really sad because all of life is meant to be like beautiful and rich, and there's a purpose for every season of your life. And so the idea of just waiting till this thing that you have no control over really happens to you. And then everything can like be great. That's just like, oh, it's just really sad. And there were definite moments where I totally felt that. I was like, man, like when I finally meet somebody, then things will really be great. But it's just, it feels like it's actually robbing from you if that's how you live.
So true.
Because there's so many things you can do while you're single or any stage of life. There's so many things that you can take advantage of, people you can invest in, like dreams you can pursue now that you don't have to wait for. And it also, like, I think just when you are a person that goes after the things that you want, that naturally makes other people more drawn to you because you're just like fully living. So rather than just like waiting on the side being like, pick me, like it's like, okay, how about you go out there and try some things and like fail at some things and see what happens. So
totally.
that's my soapbox.
Yeah. That's really good.
And I think we can even get to the point where it's like, oh man, like if that guy was interested in me, like it'd be so great because he's like doing all these things and he's like super adventurous and he's an entrepreneur and he's like da 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 da. But if you're not doing anything, like you're not gonna get that guy. Like to be honest, you know, like he's looking for somebody who's already like doing that stuff with their life too. So
it's very rare, and it's that double standard of like, if, which we've talked about, like if you are wanting someone to go after that is in, how do I phrase it? If you're wanting someone in those areas, like you also need to be like going after the same things.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah. I would love to hear from like you both, and I want to share too, like what are some things you've learned over the years, especially getting more into like your upper 20s, 30s, you know, as you've been single or maybe dated some guys, like what have you learned about owning your life?
Yeah, good question. The thinkers. Do you already have an answer, Lauren?
I could, but you know.
I think one of the first things that comes to mind is like, oh, car stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Funny. And
the thorn in our side.
As single women, it sucks. And I still don't know a lot about cars, but I remember like talking to my mom, and I was living in California. She's in Montana. And she would just say like, man, like I just think about you're having to figure this out, and I've never had to think about it because your dad's always done it. And she was just really sweet and was like validating me. And she's like, it's really hard because you're just like, you know what you're doing, and you're just like going to a mechanic and you're trying to figure out stuff and not get like, you know, taken advantage of and stuff. But with things like that, it's like, okay, like I have a very practical issue that I'm not super gifted in. Like, I guess I will go figure it out. I will take my car in. I will talk to the people I need to talk to. I'll research. I will, if there's like a guy around that's maybe either a friend or like a dad, I'll ask them. So just getting resourceful, because when those kind of things happen, it is like, well, this is reality, and it would be nice if someone else was here to like help figure it out with me, but there isn't. So I have to do it. And this is what I'm going to do. So yeah, that was my first initial thought.
I love that.
Yeah. Makes
She's
you grow
a resourceful gal.
Yeah, super resourceful.
Yeah, and Kalli tends to have cars that need some help. So
it's been a journey.
I do too.
Also,
no, I do
Andrea
too.
comes for my cars.
That's what I also love is like about how savage we are to each other, but Dre doesn't even know. She's just like, being honest. I'm like, that's
okay. Because like
siblings,
I still have like a clear mental image of me sitting in Kalli's car, like, what?
Like basically like a ride.
Like go back and forth. No, it was like a Disneyland ride.
Weren't we nervous it would explode at one point
or
something?
Terrified. I felt judged by the people at the stoplight around me.
Oh my god.
It was so funny.
This is the thing
Samantha.
Kalli was probably like, it's fine.
Dude, that was the best thing.
I had no money. I was like, if this car dies, I'm walking everywhere. So
yeah. Side note to the audience, Kalli is chill in every season of life, and she's the most generous woman I know in every season of her life. Like the Lord has given her extra crowns for her generosity. I already know
it. I've seen
I know it. This woman, most generous woman I know.
Like, if the world ends, I'm gonna fly to wherever Kalli is. She's just gonna be chill.
Yeah, she's amazing. Literally,
Well,
no one
Yeah.
like.
I'm gonna be like, what was I freaking out about?
Wait,
Like,
what?
we're
We just had to have like a side brag sesh on Kalli right now. Couldn't
we
help
always
it.
do this.
I
Yeah.
literally gush for her. I mean, I gush for you too, Dre, but like Kalli, special spot.
Special spot.
Special spot.
Wow, you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Callie's gonna be like, well, let's play cards. Deal me in.
Yeah, that's when I
You know?
won't have a special spot.
Then she's like, I take it all back.
Dang it.
Oh.
Wait,
Yeah.
Dre,
Okay.
do you have
Yes.
some thoughts on owning your life, or do you need me to go?
You can go, because I just started thinking about like what I love about living with both of you.
Oh, so cute. For my 2 months I lived with you basically in
That's
life.
not true. That's
I
like,
know it's more than that. It was like a year.
yeah, almost a year.
So
Yeah, if you
I
count
was crazy.
YWAM, year and a
It was
half.
crazy back then.
But
Okay.
Lauren's like so fun. Like,
Yes.
like Callie's like so peaceful and like calming, and like it's just very regulating to live with her. Lauren, it's like fun. Like everything's more fun.
Well,
Yes.
when I was more unhealthy though, I was crazy a little, maybe make you irritated because I was like, I gotta do 1,000 things, then I'd crash. And
You still would like try. You would still like make time for me though. It was really.
oh yeah,
I
I make
know.
time for my humans.
Yeah,
My
even
humans. That
though
sounds crazy.
even though during that time you made for me, I would be like, maybe you need less time doing other things.
Yep, I still am working on that. So still I'm working on that. I literally crashed last night. I was like, I did 5 events this past weekend, and I have a race this weekend and a workshop. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. Okay. Anyways, on to owning your life. So owning your life, I think for me, I was like kind of thinking about it is in a lot of ways I've owned my life of like I'm really proud of. I've been pretty adventurous since I was like 18. Like I've lived out of my house, I'd say, since I was 18, besides a couple months here or there visiting my family. But I've been lived in California. I lived in Northern California right after college. I lived in Hawaii for a season. I did some YWAM. I then moved right after I went to grad school, and then right after grad school I moved to Southern California, and I was like, how the heck did I figure this stuff out?
Wow.
Like, I don't know how. Like, I think there's just like a grace for it, because now I'm like, I don't want to move to a random state again. Like, I have this great community.
So
like,
true.
But I think what was interesting is I actually grew as the years happened, and hope deferred grew, where I was like hoping for my best friend who could be my companion, who could take away loneliness. And I wanted someone to take away my loneliness of me living by myself, or be that best friend buddy that I could have. A hope deferred set in, and I think a bitterness towards men not choosing me grew. And so I had to like grow over my 20s into my 30s of like owning my life of like, I can't just like keep being like almost like self-pity, or like like I had to own like my community. I had to own, okay, I'm lonely, so what am I going to do about this? I had to own like my relationship with God, because I was mad at God in a lot of ways of like, why aren't you giving me something that I desire so much that I think I thought would fix my loneliness, or fix my this desire of like some dreams I had in life of like being a mom or a wife, or having like adventures with my husband, or having that safety and security. So these deep wants I wanted this person to fix, I had to actually go to God about, and like go to my community and my actually like amazing family. And so I had to like begin to own that, because I was placing it on this imaginary person, or whoever that person was. And so I think that's been my process more of like owning my life, has not been as much like finances, but like, okay, how do I continue to sustain myself and be like and I know Kalli will touch on this, of like the best version of me, not so I can get a great husband, but just because then I can be like really proud of who I am. So I try to like think about future me. Like I've written a letter to like my 40-year-old self, and I want to be like someone in my 60s, 70s, if I get that far, and be like, I'm so proud of like Lauren in her 20s and 30s for like going after her dreams, or like even if she wasn't, married. And so having to like kind of lay down those fantasies of like, oh, this is what will make me happy, or this is what, because I can't like Kalli said, control my timeline, even though I've tried
Right.
so hard to control dating and marriage. I've like done everything I think within my will to get married, but just realizing like, okay, this is really out of my control. So all I can do is like own like who God made me to be and be like that best version and like really follow God to the sincerest of my ability. And so that has been, I think, a little bit of my process of owning my life. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Andrea?
I know, while you were talking, it gave me ideas, so that was good.
Perfect.
I feel like when I was like in college, so I majored in education and I hated student teaching. I didn't hate like the rest of getting my degree, but once I had to start giving lessons and teaching, I was like, I hate this so much, which Lauren, heard a lot about because I met her right after that.
Yeah,
but
she was salty.
It's so salty. And so for me, I really wanted to meet a guy that like was in an established career and really liked his career because I didn't want to have to figure out that part. Like I felt really defeated about that. And I was like, I just want to meet somebody and he can like provide and then I can just like have kids because like I'm not cut out for the work world is how I felt. The Lord in his sovereign wisdom
Sovereign Lord.
Love him.
was like, that's your plan, but it's not mine. So I think it was good. Like I had a little bit of that adventurous spirit. I think I do feel like it's kind of comes with that age a little bit. Like 21, 22, you're kind of just itching to like do something crazy. So yeah, we both had that. Both went to Hawaii. Both did YWAM. Both went to Zimbabwe. And that was an amazing experience, healing in a lot of ways. And then I just wanted more of that. So, and I think I just was like, I have no idea what I would do career wise. So, yeah, I ended up doing ministry school. And honestly, like just by showing up to serve and like prioritizing like my relationship with God actually like ended up on a career path that is not necessarily a moneymaker right now, but I do really love what I do and I do think it like fits in my natural gifting and just by being obedient with the Lord, I like figured out that I even had like a gift in some of the areas that are now like my job. So, I think that was such a gift. And I feel like having actually walked that out has made me so much more confident in just feeling like, you know what, I'm actually a capable person. Like I'm like I can figure stuff out and I can have a career and I can make money and like yeah, I mean I'm still figuring that stuff out, but I feel like owning that whole I think a lot of that was because my dad was just such a provider. Like I never had to worry about that. So in my head, I think subconsciously I was just like, well, I'm gonna find basically someone who's like my dad and not have to worry about this at all. So like owning my finances has been a huge thing. Even like I was in a longer term relationship and he had a really good job and he was like really owning his finances. Like he kind of had more investments and, that kind of thing. And so I even like checked out while he was dating him. Like, while I was dating him, I was kind of like, all right, well, like I don't have to figure out finances anymore. Like I found somebody who can just fix that world for me.
Yeah.
And then when we broke up, that was something I was like, oh wow, like I've been kind of coasting. And so that was like one of the main things I did was like, okay, how am I going to start like, trying to like grow my business and take more ownership of like what's going on here and like find more clients and not just like stay in my comfort zone and coast on like what I already have. So anyway, that's been a huge thing, but there's just like there's just different areas like that where it's so much easier to just like avoid it and hope that somebody comes along that is going to be strong so that you don't have to figure it out. But it's just, I don't know. I really do think that what God asks us to do is steward like what he's placed in our hands. So
That's really good. Yeah. And I mean, I do think like God has, made it that like men are to support women and women are to support men like one another. And there is like a covering from God altogether with that. And so there is like the gift of like, marriage and family and partnership that does bring like this extra help and support. It's like, it's such a gift. And we weren't made to be alone, right? Like we're not, but there is like community as well. And for those that are single out there or maybe divorced, and you're like, I might not ever get married again, or I might not ever get married. It's just knowing like we're not made to do this alone, but there is like a beautiful piece of like, what do I bring to the table? Like figuring out like what giftings do I have that God has given me that I'm supposed to bring to this earth. And like, if you don't know what that is, like start praying, start fasting, like asking God, like, God, what do I have to offer to my community, and figuring that out. And I think that's even like one of the gifts all three of us have like had with singleness is like we've had to really face ourselves. Like we had to figure out like more and more like what do I offer instead of kind of maybe just letting someone else like maybe cloud that out. It's like really had to refine us. And so now we know more getting into relationships, like what do I bring to the table? And I think it's okay to have needs. Like it's okay to not be good at every single thing. But knowing too, it's like that person's not going to fix me. Like, or I'm not going to fix that person. But I can come as a whole person and offer things. And then they have things like to offer as well in that relationship. And I think it just makes healthier dating because I'm like, you're not going to save me. And like, you're not going to fix me. And I'm not going to save you and I'm not going to fix you. Like we have to both own our lives together, and that can actually create like a really beautiful life, like a really beautiful relationship and dating and in marriage. And so, that's my thought for right now.
Wow, it's so good.
Yeah. I think too, like the more you're focused on like, is this person taking care of me? Like, is this person meeting my needs? Like, is this person, making me feel good about myself? Like when you end up putting way too much responsibility on them, like it's not a fun relationship. Like it's really draining. Like, and it's a lot to put on somebody else. Like but when you shift it to like, how can I contribute? How can I show up? How can I like meet their needs and make sure that I'm, not just like relying on them to be the one that takes responsibility all the time, but it's like a partnership. It's not like they're, like it's like we take care of each other. It's not like I'm looking for someone that will just like take care of me all the time. Cause like it's all of us would rather just like show up and chill, like
feed me.
Right. Yeah. Like, it's like, that's great. We'd all love to be that like person who just like hangs out on the couch and gets served all day, but nobody wants to be in a relationship with that person. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. That cracks me up. I don't know why I was thinking about like one of my friends, I will say no names. She is pregnant and just like was exhausted, and she was like in her like sickness trimester, and so her husband was doing like he was working. I mean, she's working as well, but like all the house chores. He was making all the meals, and then she actually started to like feel better, but she kept letting him like do everything. And so he was still doing all the meals, and so she's like, I'm just gonna chill here, like this is great. And then he eventually was like, hey, since you're feeling better, can you like help out around the house? And she was like, oh yeah, I can do that. But it was like she was like, this is great, I'm just gonna keep enjoying it.
Dude, I can't even
funny.
judge. That is so something I would do.
It was like, it killed me. She's like, I felt really bad because I was like taking advantage of him and I totally didn't know fully. And
I wonder
was
how
like,
long she let that happen for.
I don't know, but he eventually confronted. He's like, hey, I need some help now that you're feeling a little bit better with your sickness.
He's like, hey, that was really more of like a temporary situation.
She's like, oh, this is the best life ever.
It's like, that's not the new normal now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Oh
made
my
me
gosh,
giggle.
it's
It made me
so funny.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
It's so
Okay.
funny.
Do we have anything else that we want to say when it comes to owning our lives?
I would,
Yeah. Did you have more? Yeah.
yeah.
Cal?
I just wanted to
Over to
hear
you.
like, what are some other ways you feel like you guys have like owned your life, like in practical kind of examples?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because Lauren, you said finances.
We both said finances.
Yeah, we both said
We
finances.
clearly live in expensive cities.
Yeah. No, I mean, I even think of like my relationship with God and I've had to really own my relationship with God because I really wanted a guy that like push me in my relationship with God. That was just like a spiritual thing I had in my head of we're gonna like really impact God's kingdom together. Like,
Lauren wanted like Reinhard Bonnke, basically.
I wanted someone who was gonna impact millions of people, and then I was
guy. He was
be his like right hand man, like kind of like a Billy Graham, and then I was like his wife, and then we did it together. And then of course that didn't happen, and and that doesn't need to happen. Honestly, I've like laid that down because I realized my life does not need to be glamorous as long as I am committed to God. Oh, sorry, I'll get me emotional.
Yes.
I just think God looks at the heart. Like,
yeah,
he cares so much about people's hearts. Like, you don't need to like have the craziest impact in the world if you know that your heart is so pure and surrendered to God and you're being faithful to like the yes to him every day. Like, I'm like, God looks for those people, and he doesn't need the people that do like the biggest, most glamorous things. And also, though, that's great if you do. Like, if you're able to impact hundreds and thousands of people, awesome. Like, but I just think God cares most about like, is your heart committed to him above all else? And so I think that has helped me so much in owning my life of like, you actually care most about my heart being so pure before you. And that's actually what you care about most about like whoever I end up dating or marrying, is like that their heart is like, that they don't have to be the most glamorous person or the most impactful for the kingdom, as long as their yes is fully his. That's actually gonna like be the most powerful marriage, and like that's gonna impact family, and that's gonna impact community. And it doesn't have to look like a certain way where you're like an Instagram star or whatever. And so I think that's probably my biggest thing I've like owned, is like God really cares about my heart, and he really cares about like me being faithful to him daily, with or without being in a relationship with someone else. And so that's given me like a lot of assurance and peace. And I think it's allowed me to like live more with hope of like, my life is God's, like I'm good to go. It just like, it brings such a greater joy than this waiting for my life to happen or my ministry to happen. It's like, no, it's like every day. We don't have tomorrow guaranteed anyways. And so how do I be like completely surrendered to him? So yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
Ugh, why do you guys make me cry?
You make us cry.
Ugh.
It's me. I was just making people cry over
Those
here.
questions she asks.
Just whip them out every now and then.
But Kalli, you should talk about emotional health.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you were sharing that earlier.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the thing I've gone after the most in my time of like being single. I mean, we lived in Redding, California, which is like the hub for emotional health. Everyone you bump into is like a counselor.
You have to really work hard. Yeah, you have to work hard to be emotionally unhealthy in that city.
It's like, yeah, if you say the word triggered and someone's like, what? You're like, what's going on? How do you not know what that means?
Yeah.
So it's just like rampant there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's definitely something like even in ministry school that they would talk about a lot. But I had a lot of friends kind of in that field. And so I would just go to classes. I would like read, start reading the books about it and just like really start to own myself and go after like pain in my life. Yeah, different things that would come up, just really trying to make myself like be the healthiest version of myself I can be, in order to, one day when I'm in a marriage to not have to bring as much into it. I mean, there'll always be some stuff you have because you can never fully rid yourself of all the things. But
Right.
even just learning to recognize your own flaws and being like, okay, here's where I struggle with this. And how can I be aware of it? How can I help somebody eventually? But also if you never get married either, like it's still so good to know like, oh, this is how I'm wired, like this is how these things affect me. It's just something you're always continuously growing in and will be helpful for any relationship that you have, friendships, like relationship with your family. It's so good and it's stuff you like do every day. So why would you not go after that? So yeah, that's probably the area that I've really gone after the most in being single. And I'm very thankful. And like I said, I've by no means arrived and I still have work to do, as we all do. But I am very thankful for the time that I have invested and for the people that have spoken into my life in those areas.
Yeah. Honestly, it's one of the most fruitful things you can go after because you're no longer dependent on your external world. If you can get your internal world healthy, or you can learn how to respond to things in a way that's like, okay, like this, I'm not relying on my circumstances to be happy or content or peaceful, or like the more that you can steward and create that inside of yourself, it's so great because it's like literally anything could happen to me and I could figure it out.
Yeah. What were some of those resources or things that you did, Kalli,
Ooh,
practically?
yeah.
Just so if people were like, because it's like, wait, what do I do?
Yeah, totally.
Our podcast.
You're on the right track. You're listening to the best podcast out there. Let's see. There's this author everybody in Reading loves. Her name is Brené Brown. She has incredible books, a lot about like compassion and just like, learning your internal world. She has incredible stuff. Andrea's favorite, Dr. Henry Cloud.
Dude.
Has some great books out there.
Boundaries.
We all love the podcast, The Connected Life.
Podcast.
Incredible people.
Free
Abby
therapy.
and Justin Stumball. Love them. They're amazing.
Any of their courses, honestly.
Yeah.
Their courses have changed my life.
We've done multiple courses that they've offered. Andrea and I did one together actually, which was really fun.
Yeah, we did. It was cute.
And what was the name of the course, just so if people were interested?
The Father Series.
The Father Series.
Going after your father wounds.
Yeah. But Living Fully Alive, which I don't even know if they do anymore.
I did that one. Yeah, they did.
Literally
I did that one
changed
too.
my life.
Yeah. It was so good. And something like that too. It's like, oh, here's like a fee for the course and then you do the course. But it's like life changing, especially if you haven't already taken any kind of classes. Like that kind of stuff is like mind blowing. So it's like so practical. And also just finding a counselor, finding someone that, maybe a friend sees somebody and they can recommend somebody to you. But there's so many good counselors or life consultants out there. So, those are some
I'd
of
even
mine.
say small groups too, like has been really helpful at times to just be able to process different internal things going on.
Yeah.
So if you can find like a good Bible study or a small group, I know we all three are in different Bible studies or small groups, and that's just like an intimate way for you to connect more in a deeper level with people.
Absolutely.
Because I think one thing to note is none of us are like, I just do everything by myself because I don't have a husband. Like, no, we just are like, dad or like guy at church or like, like we're just like, we really lean on our church community or like our friends or maybe even some like people at work. Like it's just you have to be a little vulnerable and ask for help sometimes. But it's none of us are like, yeah, I don't need people. I don't need a husband. I don't need like that's a lie.
Nah.
Yeah.
Like if you're single, you got to get better at like getting your needs met from other people and that kind of thing. So anyways,
yeah. And even when you're in a relationship, you're still going to need community, all of that. Like that person will not solve all your problems. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would not want to solve someone else's, all their problems. That would be like scary.
It's too much.
Yeah. It's too much pressure.
Yeah. Yep. You need community.
So
yeah.
Well,
good stuff.
Any final thoughts, friends?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I kind of mentioned it before, so I don't need to go too long on it, but probably the other area that I've owned the most is like being social and building community, because I was so introverted as a kid. I was so not social. Like I just really wanted to meet somebody, and then they would just be like my buddy. And then I would never have to go out to parties ever. Like
the dream.
That was my dream. And yeah, and I didn't like meeting people. I didn't like talking to strangers. Like, oh gosh, it was just like the worst thing to have to do any of that. And so once again, the Lord in his sovereign goodness.
He's like, nope.
I love that you keep talking about the sovereignty of God. I'm into it.
Just because I just keep thinking about like I had such a good plan for like avoiding this or escaping this, and it was always just like God's plan was to make me face it.
No, seriously.
Or give me opportunities to face it. So yeah, just being like, you know what? Like Jesus loves people. Jesus was a people person. And so I don't get to be like, I don't like people. Like I don't like parties or whatever. Like it's like, nope. If Jesus loves people, then I get the opportunity to love like the person in front of me, whether that's at a party where, you know, it's a mixed bag of who's there. Like some of them could be maybe not somebody I would normally talk to, you know? But yeah, sorry. I feel like I'm going on a tangent, but just pushing myself to be like, nope, I need community. I need people around me. Like not only do I need it, but like I need to show up at places to be that for someone else. Like it's twofold. So, that's been something that I have grown so much in, because that is not my natural bent at all. But now it's part of my life all the time.
You're so social. I love it.
Too social.
Well, I'm trying to keep up with you guys because I don't want to be the only one that's like, yeah, I don't have plans.
Yeah.
Well, I just learned a couple weeks ago all my friends are in other states, so I'm trying to make more friends here.
Oh yeah, you had so many friends move away.
All my friends moved away. I have a lot of friends here, but I'm like, oh.
Well, sounds like it's time for both of you to move to Montana.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we've decided it's happening.
If God comes to me incarnate, I'll think about it. Anyways, but another thing I do want to talk about owning life, owning your life is like, I would just say like, don't wait around. Like, you know, I think I spent so much of my 20s just waiting and praying and hoping, and just I think something just flipped where I was like, I'm gonna stop kind of sitting in this like waiting period of like when my life will begin, and just go after the things I think I'm supposed to go after. And if I fail or mess up, like I'll figure it out. And and just knowing like, and really having to like lean in to like trusting God with like his timetable. I had to really surrender, because I just had so many ideas of like, my life is going to look like this and happen like this. And all of it has not happened the way I thought it would be. Like, but crazy enough, a lot of things have happened that I hoped and dreamed for, but just some of them have not. Some of them have not happened the way I wanted. And I really had a lot of self-pity and had to go through some of those stages of grief and disappointment and hope deferred, and I'll have ups and downs. I just came through like a really sad 2 months, and so this is very recent. I'm getting out of sadness, and just having to like trust God with my life, and also just continue to be like, no, I'm going to live life to the fullest and not just wait around hoping like this is when my life will happen, or really, it's okay to like sit in your self pity for a second, but you have to get back up eventually. Like you have to, like, I feel like I'll have seasons where I'm on my face and I'm sitting in my poo poo, and then I have to get up, clean myself up and get back up. Like, okay, we're going to try again. Like, I'm going to try to continue to like follow God and enjoy life and live life to the fullest, because I would want that for any other person around me. Like I would want them to live their life to the fullest. And I actually get so sad, specifically when I see women who are single and they're just so depressed because they aren't dating or they aren't married yet, they don't have kids, and it breaks my heart, because I want every woman to get to have their dreams come true, whether it be getting married or having a family or that. So but when I see women who are single, who do have the dreams of being married, having kids, but they're confidently living their life and they're confidently going after their life, even if they don't have those dreams, I have so much hope for them. I'm like, like God has you. Like, I don't know how to explain it better than that. I hope I'm I want to be so honoring of every single woman, but I'm just like, because there is times for grief and there is times for disappointment. But if you can continue to grasp after your life and like go after it to the best of your ability, pull some other people into your life, get a counselor, whatever, like you are just going to have a better life. Like you're just going to like enjoy it more, because we only get one life.
Totally.
So, yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah. And I think disappointment and hope deferred can make you kind of just want to check out. Like kind of just like get through the day and just like coast. And that's even something I've been challenging myself with, is like, okay, what would it look like to show up to this day like 110%, like fully be with the people that are in front of me, and like Lauren said, like not just be like, well, I can't fully live this day because I haven't met that person yet, so my life, we're still in this waiting period. It's like, nope, my life is right now. Like, what's it gonna look like to go all in and not like hold back, or like not, I don't know. You can just go through the motions. Like, what would it look like to not just go through the motions, but to just to really be like choosing each moment?
Well, that's so
Kalli,
good.
do you have anything?
Just like a random small thing, but not being afraid to put down roots somewhere as a single person as well.
That's good.
Because I think, again, going back to like the waiting thing, you can be like, well, like for me, I moved to California and I wasn't really sure how long I was going to be there for. And it was kind of like a year at a time for a little bit. And I was just kind of like, okay, we'll see if I stay here. And not even really realizing it, but you can kind of be like, just not investing as much in like your space, the people, because you're just kind of like in between, and you're like, well, if I need to go, like I need to be like ready. And at some point, I remember the Lord, it was like year like 4 or something. He's like, hey, I'm not going to tell you how long you're going to be here for, but while you're here, like be here. And I want you to like invest in where you live, the people, your job, and be all in, and don't be like looking over your shoulder like, okay, should I be packing up and going? And so after that, I was like, okay. And I really invested, and I'm so happy that I did, because like just the relationships that I had, the jobs, everything, like it was beautiful. And if I had met someone during that season, like I still would have been like, great, but I finished my time there and felt like it was time to move. And I've just carried that with me since, of like wherever I am for however long I'm here, even if it's like I'm only in a space for like 9 months, just be fully in it. And I think that's been really powerful for me. So
yeah. I mean, right after that you met me, so
it's so true. Let's not Let's not discount that. Year 4 was when I met Andrea, and my life has never
Andrea
been the
was
same.
like, Kalli surrendered her life and put roots, and then Dre came in.
I'm like, Kalli, you did meet someone, Kalli.
Oh my God.
The most important person. So true.
It was okay. I actually watched a masterclass with Amy Poehler on improv. And she basically like gives all these rules for improv that are like rules for life.
Yep.
And one of them is like in improv, like you just have to make a decision and like commit to it.
Yes. That's my
good.
favorite one. That's my favorite rule of improv.
I'm so inspired. Like I still think about that because I'm like, it's not about like necessarily picking the right thing. It's about picking the thing that feels the best and just just going for it.
Yeah.
Like watering that grass until it gets green instead of being like, well, where's the grass already green? So anyway, I don't know. Kalli, like, do you have more insight on that as an improv actress yourself?
Oh, so many. There's so many. I'm not going to go into it too much, but for acting, there's so many things you learn that it's like direct correlation to life. But another one we talked about, another rule for improv is like the yes and, which is like someone like throws something at you, like, I don't know, like they see you in a scene and they're like, oh, wow, you got your haircut. And what you have to do, you can't say like, no, I didn't get a haircut. You have to roll with it. So you can be like, yes, thank you. And then it just creates stories and like you build off of it with each other. So that's something I love with like, I don't know, just having that approach to life of like, anything can happen, like just building and like bringing it full circle. So yeah. There's a lot of those things, but
a whole episode later on improv.
Where we're all gonna physically do it and talk about what we're doing.
I mean, isn't this every time we do this?
We
improv?
are, and
that
is true.
Literally every podcast is improv.
Yeah, Lauren's like, I'm trying to make it less improv.
Yeah, she's like,
Andrea would do the whole thing improv.
We basically do.
Yeah, we basically do. Well, this was a lovely time.
Always.
With both of you.
Real treat.
A real treat as always. Yeah. I think my roommate bought me some ice cream, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up. But
yeah. I understand completely.
I love ice cream.
Priorities.
Yeah, we love ice cream. And we love you guys out there who are listening. And we hope you have a good day, morning, night, afternoon, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.